Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So it seems like friends will be friends right till they are a little bit hurt. That's how far these guys' friendship goes. These guys are the guys who are selfish and money dictates. Now, we have here an imbecile. That's gonna be my assessment of this guy and whatever. His name is Boris Johnson, the former Prime Minister of Great Britain. Unfortunately, they don't have someone better. It seems like not. I don't know what's going on with you, my friends from Great Britain. Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, Cameron, and now Sunak. Why don't you have a Farage? Anyway, Nigel Farage, for that matter. Now, I'm not going to say George Galloway, but that's going to get you friends with China like this. I like George a lot. I don't like that he's a communist or whatever he is, but I like him in many ways. So here we have Boris Johnson considered military raid attack on NATO state. So Boris Johnson wanted special forces, military, to attack, to intervene, to go in a NATO state in Europe, okay, and basically plunder something that it wasn't theirs, but they needed. So this is how weasels act. There is, I want that, I want it now. Can I get it? Yeah, all the rules. I don't care about them. Right now, I'm just going to go over there. There's no morality, there's no virtue, nothing. We need it, I'm going to get it. Why? Because it hurts them. Virtue, remember, is you apply virtue. You're virtuous when you do something. You keep your principles intact regardless of the situation. That's where you have values. You don't steal nothing. It's not that you don't steal these glasses, but if someone shows you a Mercedes, you're gonna steal it. But my value is no stealing. No, you're not supposed to steal anything. Not, oh, this is not a big value. Yeah, I can hold myself from stealing it. It's not that important. But a Mercedes right here, if someone gives it to me, it's not mine. I'm going to take it right now. Now, what kind of values you got? Zero. Or preferential, situational. So let's look at this article where Boris Johnson wanted to bomb, to, as I said, military intervene in a country, NATO state, mind you. Russia Today. And here we have the Boris Johnson with his vaccine, supposedly. Boris Johnson considered military raid on NATO state. Daily Mail, so not even Russia Today. The ex-prime minister was said to be enraged after the EU threatened to prevent COVID vaccines doses from entering the UK. Was it their right or no? Former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson asked military advisors to prepare plans to raid a Dutch COVID-19 vaccine plant to retrieve 5 million AstraZeneca doses, the Daily Mail had reported, citing diplomatic sources. Now, you can say, or you might say, that he thought about his fellow Brits, right? That's why he was the Prime Minister of all Great Britain. He was concerned about you using the vaccines. Or you can say maybe he was on someone else's payroll and he wanted to do that and then, I don't know, pay back, or those guys produce some more and they get money from those or something. Could be all of this. My point is he wanted to go in another country militarily and get something it was not his. For the public good. All right, well, let's look further. Johnson was enraged by a spat with the EU after Brussels threatened to prevent doses of the vaccine from being sent to the UK from the plant in March 2021, according to the outlet on Sunday. At the time, maybe he just wanted to infect you with some stupid stuff, no? I don't know exactly with what, but who knows. At the time, the EU was embroiled in a dispute with the Anglo-Swedish pharmaceutical company over the rollout of the vaccine. AstraZeneca had said production issues meant it could only deliver about 1/4 of the planned stock to the EU and has refused to divert supplies from its factories in the UK. that this prompted Brussels to threaten to ban exports of the vaccine from own territory, which European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, a German, claimed was necessary to ensure Europe gets its fair share, end quote, fairness. Johnson, who had pledged that priority groups in the UK would be fully vaccinated by mid 2021, oh my God, reportedly then asked military advisors to prepare plans to forcefully retrieve the vaccine doses from the plant in Leiden. The Prime Minister, I'm quoting, was enraged. The diplomatic source told the newspaper, and I'm quoting again, he ordered officials to look at all options for responding, and that did include asking the security services to look at whether there were any options for physically going and taking the vaccines from the Netherlands and bringing them here. So he wanted to attack Netherlands. A second source said that the Trumpian EU, far from it, could not, and I'm quoting, accept the fact that we had negotiated a better deal than with AstraZeneca. The vaccines were effectively stolen, end quote. However, the idea was abandoned after Johnson was advised that a military-style operation to seize the vaccines would seriously undermine relations with the EU and threaten the supply of future vaccines doses from elsewhere in the bloc, the Daily Mail reported. So some people were a little bit more, with reason. Johnson is expected to reference the EU role when he gives evidence to the UK COVID Inquirer on Wednesday. It was previously reported by the Times that the former premier would admit he unquestionably made mistakes in his leadership throughout the pandemic. However, he is also set to claim that his actions saved hundreds of thousands of lives. You don't know that. That's a scenario. You don't know it. It's like, let's say someone, I'm going to give an example. Someone gets sick and it feels very bad. And you say, you know what, you're going to go and get a little piece of, a little rock. From outside, you go and get it. And say, hey, Gigi, you're very sick. I don't know if you're going to survive, but you're very sick. But if you take this little rock in your mouth, you will be A-okay. And at that point, I'm going to take it. He takes it. And he recovers. Now, did the rock make him recover? And what am I going to say next? Oh, it's because of that. Because I give that rock to many, some of them don't recover, some of them recover. And I say, oh, the ones that recovered, it was because of the rock. I'm not going to point out that, hey, those guys who got my little rock, that had no effect on those guys, my little rock, they died. I'm not going to, they died. It was too much. It was something wrong over there. But look how many it saved. But you don't know, they got well because of my rock or just because their body was able to fight it. I'm going to give you an example. I am not vaccinated. I'm talking about COVID. Not vaccinated. I got COVID and I survived. So let's say I would have taken a something. And you can, if you take that, you still can get COVID, evidence showed, and then I would have recovered. I would have been a clear example provided by Johnson that vaccine saved my life. Wouldn't it? Yes, it would. But I know it didn't because I survived without any vaccines and any medication. I didn't take any medications. Just let it go because I knew, and I told other idiots, I'm okay. And if I die, well, so be it. What, am I supposed to cry now? Or what? What am I supposed to do? I should have listened. No. So that's it. But I'm just showing you how these guys are saying, well, that saved life. You don't know that. You do not know that. As I gave you the analogy or the example, how you want to call it, with a rock. And I can give you many of them. You don't know. Maybe it just killed him. No. You don't know. That's why, oh my God, thank God I got that thing. That saved my life. All right. But let them feel better. The problem is this guy would have started up, I don't know if there would have been a war, but just think about it. And I don't think it was his care. I don't think it was his care about his fellow Brits whatsoever. You know why? Because wasn't he having some parties? Didn't he? That's how supposedly was his downfall, because he had those parties during the pandemic and being, supposed to, how do you call it, one another. I can't remember the freaking term anyway. To stay far away from one another, isolate, remember? And he didn't. That means he didn't give a shit. And I don't think he did that because he was vaccinated or something. Maybe he did, but he demanded people to isolate, stay away, keep the distance, and he was having parties. Now that tells me he's an idiot, a pig. Not a pig. I insulted the pig. An asshole. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.